Hello everyone, welcome to Nareen's Life with MS. This is Nareen and it is time for a mindful Monday. And this Monday, I had to be mindful of a lot of things. The main one being that, I did quit my gym. I am not going to go to, my gym anymore. Because rather than doing that, I am actually going to start doing yoga at home with a yoga teacher. Hopefully, that does give a lot of benefits. Part of me doing yoga is that I will also continue to do breath work, and so I will have yoga, pranayam, and then of course I do meditation. So pretty much I'll have the whole lot together, and hopefully that will make each effort from each thing a little more powerful because it'll all come together in one go. So hopefully there are lots of improvements. But of course, apart from that, I did want this to be, sort of a mindful thought about, what is new, right? About new things when we're starting new things. And, one thing that I actually told myself when I was pretty much thinking of, what I will talk about today and later in the week is that I think next week, the following week, we might actually revisit some of the series from the last time and really think about it, really um, really really put all of that into perspective, and how it actually helped get us to this level, right? To get us to where we are right now. So there is, of course, a lot to talk about, but the one thing that I'm very excited for, and that I'm going to start yoga again, is of course realizing that yoga was definitely one of the more fun things that I used to do in the past, right? I've liked yoga way more um, than just you know exercising or going to the gym. um, Definitely it is something that I would say is definitely a competing thing with swimming. It's very hard to decide which one I like a little more, but considering that right now my ears will probably not be able to handle going into a swimming pool and actually swimming a few laps, I'd say yoga just edges it out just a little bit. But there the best part about yoga is that I will not be pressured to do anything very rapidly. There will be a lot of things that I can actually slow down, and considering that it's a package deal in terms of yoga, breath work, and of course meditation, it definitely will get me back to a time that I pretty much forgot for a very long time, right? We're talking things that I used to do 14, 15 years ago. And it will be great to revisit all of those experiences, all of those times, because it is hopefully that will also allow me to pretty much become that young as well, or at least feel that young, or at least get the energy of being that young, because that I think that is probably the biggest thing I want as a result of going all the way back to, 2011, 2012. So there is a lot that I'm looking forward to. There are a lot of new things that I'm looking at. Of course, there were some things that that were a little difficult for me, which was, of course, to say goodbye to my old gym. But I'm just looking at this as a new chapter and really a way to see how just pretty much seeing that the growth I got from going to a gym, from getting a little bit of physiotherapy alongside it, was definitely very helpful. But now it's time to be a little more holistic, be a little bit more mature about how I'm going to get to the next level, right? How I'm going to pretty much breach any plateaus that I'm currently seeing, especially when it comes to exercising. So yes, I'm pretty excited. Of course, um, you can also give in your own thoughts, your own insights, your own experiences with switching over, um, switching over your exercise regimen. If you ever did that, how did it feel? What are your thoughts about yoga, meditation, pranayam, all of those things, so that we can definitely get a conversation started. But with that said, this is Naren Zavitamas. I am Naren. If you do have anything to add, please do share it in the comment section. But with that said, here's me wishing you a good night, sweet dreams, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.